Good afternoon from beautiful Brisbane, Australia, and welcome to Complex PTSD TV. I'm sorry I've been absent for a while. I've been very busy doing the first core unit of the complex trauma certification. So today we're going to share with you some information about psychological abuses. And it's very, very important because when we've got a heart of gold, we tend to believe the best of everybody. And it's not until we experience the worst that we begin to start going, what's going on here? Why don't these people have a compassionate, empathic heart of gold that wants to sit down and communicate with me and work things out? Now, psychological abusers are in a, corner of their own, so to speak, because they will never actually change, okay? So when you look at somebody who has narcissistic tendencies, there's a possibility that they might change if they seek outside help. However, when it comes to psychological abusers, they will never change. Psychological abusers believe their assessment of you and everyone else around them is correct. Okay, so even if you can see something different, they will say that you're wrong. And that's not happening. That's how fully compelling they can be in their belief. They're not open to learning new coping skills. So even if you come up with something new, you find that they either ignore you or nod their head, say yes, and just go on and do the same old thing again. In their assessment, they are as close to perfect as someone can be, and it is everybody else who needs the help. So you may find that you're being told you're the problem, you're the one who needs to get help. And the reality is, in a relationship, no matter what type of relationship, if we want it to work, we have to communicate and we need to be flexible around our communication. And if one party's saying you're the one who needs help, then we need to sit back and really assess what's really happening here. Are they open to being in a relationship with dynamics that are, the relationship means it's more than one person involved here. Are they open and willing to work through the challenges? And psychological abusers won't. As I said, they may nod their head and say yes, but they won't actually take any action. They pretend to be remorseful for some of their abusive behaviours, but no lasting change ever comes. Their regret is a facade to keep us, the victim, in the relationship and available for more abuse. So I really want you to think about that. So they could apologise, they could express remorse, and they may even apologise, but at the end of the day, if you're experiencing the same behaviour from them, even though there's time gaps in between, that's just because sometimes they just can't be bothered going and finding another victim, and they just want you to hang around so that they can take it out on you, and it's just not on. They blame other people for their actions and choose to harm out of their free will. And this can be really hard for us to wrap our mind around, that how could you possibly want to harm somebody intentionally? But they do. It is intentional. It took me a long time to wrap my mind around the fact that somebody actually wanted to be cruel intentionally. I was just like, seriously, really? Really, you'd actually choose to live your life that way? And yes, they do. It's mind-boggling, but yes, they do. And they would rarely ever have an authentic apology for being abusive, because to do so would be to admit they are just flawed like everybody else, okay? They enjoy the game of making people frustrated and creating chaos on purpose because they find it entertaining to watch reactions. And my heart just wants to break and, just about shed tears, because I've seen this and been in this situation repeatedly, and I couldn't believe that you could actually take joy in hurting somebody. Like, it just never made sense to me. And it's really hard to see when you're in it, because I kept believing that these people would, ultimately have a good heart. But I had a lot to learn. Their abuse is rooted in power and control of those around them. They do not have other true mental health or addiction issues that could be the cause of some of their abusive behaviours. And they know when to turn on and off their abusive behaviours. So it's like they know when they've pushed you far enough, and then they'll, step back a bit and put on the nice act, and next thing you know, you think, oh, wow, I had it all wrong. No, you didn't have it all wrong. They're just able to be well-paid actors, or underpaid actors maybe if they don't get paid for it, are always trying to fly under the radar so no one can pinpoint their actions and accurately accuse them of being an abuser. So they may use language like, "I was just joking." "Oh, don't you understand?" "Oh, you're too sensitive." And it's always a deflection back to you, and you're the one with the problem. No, you're not the one with the problem. You're a kind, caring, wonderful individual. And when you have respect from somebody, they don't treat you this way. Their lives tend to be high functioning, or at least normal functioning. So it's like on the outside, you can say, well, they're functioning in their life. Why would they be like this? And, it's because of everything that they've pushed down, shut down, and shut off, and will never, ever admit to. And they can manipulate people around them into meeting their needs while selfishly not being concerned by the needs of others. So sometimes they can even say, well, why didn't you think to get me a coffee? And yet they never think to get you a coffee anyhow. Don't take it as coffee, literally, just it's the way of thinking, okay? It's like, you don't do this, but then they don't do it themselves, okay, across the board. It could be about any number of factors, but across the board, they don't actually think of you or care about how you're feeling, and will continue to repeat that it is you with the problem. And staying in a relationship like this wears us down, impacts our health, and it tears strips off our core self. Like, we don't ever get to be centered in ourself and say, well, no, that's not what I meant. Or even if we try, we're shot down. Oh, look, it's just you feel like you're in the middle of a game, and no matter what you say or do, it's not going to work. Okay? So the best thing you can do is take one step at a time and work out what you need to do for you to have the life that you want to have, and how you're going to go about it, but just one step at a time. Situations like this aren't solved overnight, right? I want you to feel safe enough to know that you're not alone. Okay, this happens in households all over the globe, but don't feel that you're on your own, and do reach out for help. Okay, thanks for joining in, and I will see you again soon. Bye for now.